This is Garrett Fry, the Cityscape sequence lead for a 3D digital map painting, and we're taking a look at shot E102. So it starts down low and pans up here. So for this shot, the other shots that are of the same location are E100 and E101. So all of these share the same location, looking in the same direction. So you can look between those shots and notice the quality differences between those shots in the different times of day. So for those shots and this shot, what you'll need to do is replace this building with a completely new building, and then you will put in buildings here. So you do have an issue with all of these shots about the moving foliage. There again, you can still that vegetation by putting just an image of the plate on top that's still, and so the vegetation is not moving anymore. And then you can put your buildings behind and layer them back. So that will take care of that, or you can do a key. So looking at this sky and this vegetation here, it's a pretty easy, clear contrast thing that you could pull a luminance key on that and be able to get a pretty good key and put your buildings behind there without any problem. So things that you're going to want to consider in this is that the sun has just set, and so everything is pretty ambiently lit, except you have these little specular surfaces here that you can see on these buildings that are kind of getting this like fill reflection from the sky that's going on here. So when you put your building in there, you have to look at this building and say, what are the qualities of this building under these lighting conditions? And I need to apply those same things that are going on and apply it to my new building. And so you'll want to treat it exactly the same. If there's a bright light colors, white colors, it should be the same value. The specular quality should be the same. And you have an opportunity to have some interior lights here and there, which are already starting to kind of pop on. We're kind of right at the point where people still have them off and may not have turned them on yet, or they haven't come home from work yet, or whatever for this apartment building here. So you can look at that. You can also, when you're evaluating this and you're saying, hey, I've got this building and I've got these buildings here, does it make it look different enough? Because the note is make this look like a different city. The additional things that you can do, of course, is replace this guy, and you can try and attack this guy here on the left side and replace this. However, you do have a lot of things over here like the tree and stuff like that you have to deal with. This night shot, it may not be such an issue because of it's so dark back there, and you can put something back there that would be just as good. But for the other shots, it may be more difficult. So there again, you need to be considering the effect of your choices on all three of these shots, because whatever you do for this shot needs to be done for the other shots as well. So if you make a decision to replace this building and then you get to the other shots and you're like, that's too difficult, too hard, and I could have gotten the same effect, I could have hit the note the same way by doing something easier over here and it looks just as good, then you're kind of wasted your time here. So it's a bit of a balancing act. You don't want to spend too much time on things. You want to get something that looks really good with the least amount of effort. So that's a little bit of what these shots are about. Make sure that before you jump into these shots, you download the image library. The image library consists of nearly 500 raw images. That's 2.27 gigs of buildings from 5 different cities from around the world: Sydney, Wellington, Adelaide, San Francisco, and New Orleans. So there's a huge variety of buildings to choose from. The photo reference includes buildings under all different lighting conditions and angles, so it pays off to familiarize yourself with the materials you're going to use to successfully execute these shots.